Hello and welcome to Geeking Out About It. We're here to talk about Halo today, one of the all-time juggernaut video game franchises of the last 20 years. My name is Chance, and we have a couple new faces on the show this week, so I'm going to pass it over to Teresa.
Hi, I'm Teresa. My experience with Halo is a general knowledge of the universe and the franchise. I know a little bit of history, and I would say Arbiter is my favorite out of all the characters.
Good stuff. And then we'll pass it over to the Geek House.
You've seen us before, although our hair colors have changed.
Yes,
Hi, I'm Austin,
I'm Sam.
and we were the previous hosts. Of
The
Geeking
founder.
Out
Oh,
About It,
sorry.
the original geeks.
Founders,
And
producers,
of course, we
creators.
played Halo. It's a requirement when you live in our society.
Yeah.
No, we played, starting in Halo 2, actually, I got in trouble, a lot of trouble, for playing Halo 2 when I was not supposed to, because my mom didn't like it.
And my start was Halo Wars,
Yeah,
weirdly.
same as Halo
Yeah.
Wars, yeah. Which I enjoy, although many people don't.
And next, we'll pass it over to our fourth and final host.
Hi, I'm Alissa. Some of you might have seen me in last year's. I was in a couple on-camera episodes. My experience with Halo is none at all. I heard Higa do a parody title of it once.
Well, that's alright if you don't have any experience, because you can be the conduit for the audience to learn.
That's what I'm here for.
I'll start with a quick overview of the series. The first game was released in 2001, but the concept had been in development since the mid-90s. Initially, it was a very different game than the Xbox first-person shooter it eventually released as. Bungie was working on a real-time strategy game to be released for Macintosh computers. In fact, the first ever reveal of Halo was on stage by Steve Jobs at Macworld 1999.
And so I'm very happy to welcome on the stage Jason Jones, who is the co-founder of Bungie and the Halo project lead. Halo is the name of this game.
Then Microsoft purchased Bungie in June of 2000, and they reworked the game into what we know it as today.
Good old Steve Jobs.
Steve. The first game was a massive hit, and the sequel was released 3 years later in 2004. And now I'm going to toss it over to Sam and Austin in the Geek House to go over some of the iconic characters from the Halo franchise.
Master Chief.
Well, he's correct, actually. There is one iconic character that we have to talk about first for Halo, and it is Master Chief. He is the primary player character, to say that you play as him for all of Halo 1, most of Halo 2, and I think all of Halo 3, unless you're doing co-op.
And then 4 and 5.
And then
Yeah.
Halo 4, Halo 5, and Halo 6. He's the main guy. You play as Master Chief. He is the ultimate super soldier, the hyper-masculine.
He's a bad mamma jamma who
Yes,
don't take
yes.
nothing from nobody. Yeah.
And he is accompanied by his best friend, Cortana, a smart AI created by Dr. Halsey in the Halo universe. And she is effectively his quest giver. She tells him everything he needs to know. Here, go do that, watch out for this thing. Hey, you suck. Hey, you're doing well. Those kind of things. And she's probably the person you hear talk the most in the entire Halo franchise, especially 1 through 3. And then the only other player character that you play as in 1 through 3 at least is the Arbiter. And he is an elite, one of the various breeds of aliens that exist in the Halo enemy faction known as the Covenant. And he is possibly the only character to get an actual arc in 1 through 3.
Yeah.
I guess Cortana does.
And I know that the Arbiter is a personal favorite of one other member who's in this call. Teresa, you want to talk a little bit about your favorite character?
Yeah, I just really like the Arbiter. He is my favorite character of the Halo franchise. I really like him because I don't know who his voice actor is, but I just really like how his voice lines are presented, like just that very like deep, ominous kind of like voice, but it's also kind of like gentle as well.
An insult, to be sure, but one with a modicum of respect. He was indeed my enemy, but in time.
And I would also say another favorite of mine of the Arbiter is just his overall design and his story arc.
Yeah, he's got that nice, deep, gravelly tone.
And we should clarify for all of you who've played Halo Wars, we are talking about the Arbiter from the main line, not the Arbiter from Halo Wars.
not the one shot to death.
He's a Dorsch nozzle.
And I will mention there are a lot more characters in Halo other than just Master Chief, Cortana, and the Arbiter, such as the various, one of my personal two favorite games, which is Halo Reach and Halo ODST, which I've got a little guy in the background there.
Yeah, that's an ODST.
Yeah. But those characters are also very interesting, especially because in ODST, you basically just play as the crew from Firefly.
Yeah, that's true. You get to play as Buck for one mission. He's played by Nathan Fillion. You get to play as Dutch for one mission. He's played by Adam Baldwin. You get to play as Mickey for one mission. He's played by Alan Tudyk, which means you just get to be the bridge crew from Firefly, and it's excellent. It's my personal favorite.
Yeah.
But the other advantage that those two games have is they're not set with Master Chief as the main line, which means their characters die frequently, actually, as Halo Reach has one survivor out of the entire gang.
Yeah, Noble Team, the only survivor was June, which is the sniper man.
And he doesn't even seem like he survives in the game. They only added that in the extra lore stuff.
Yeah, but
yeah,
every
you
other
do
member
never
of
see him
Noble
die. He just leaves.
yeah. Every other member of Noble Teams, from Carter, George, Kat, Emil, Noble Six, they all just eradicated. They die at the end of it, and each of them has a very interesting arc, and all of the characters are very interesting to me personally.
Yeah, Halo Reach is probably the best Halo game, which is weird, because everyone thought it was going to suck.
Yeah,
People really didn't like Reach when it came out. I vaguely remember.
Yeah,
and then they immediately regretted doing that, and then
now they love
realized that.
You know who really liked Halo Reach? The people who wrote Rogue One.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're like, it basically is beat for beat.
Copy.
It's not exactly
Paste.
like you need to copy it. It's just get a team together and everyone dies, you know?
So now that we've kind of gone over the characters, the lore, kind of basic history of the game franchise, what exactly is a Halo in the context of the Halo game franchise?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So there are actually, I believe, 7 Halos set up in an array, and these are just like giant ring-shaped planets created by the Forerunners in order to study an alien parasite called the Flood. And each Halo ring has, when it's activated, it will just explode and destroy pretty much all life in the surrounding galaxy in order to destroy any potential food source for the Flood. And then if all 7 are activated, then I forget the exact scale, but it's, obviously much bigger destruction.
Galaxy-wide, every sentient life form in the entire galaxy that is not on the Ark, which is a special place outside of the galaxy, would be extinguished. And this is because the Flood itself relies on sentient creatures for its food.
Yeah, the Flood are basically like the zombies of the Halo universe, except they're a lot scarier and a lot cooler than just a basic zombie.
Much faster.
Mm-hmm. And you fight them frequently in the Halo games, and they're pretty terrifying, especially the hive mind brain of them.
Grave mind.
Yeah, grave mind. And those things are scary as heck, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and especially the little ones, because they're just like microscopic, and they just run all over and chase you down through like tight corridors. A little spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Flood levels in Halo are definitely one of the more
stressful
levels in each of their games. Actually, I remember the first time you play as well, no, not the first time you play as the Arbiter. The second mission you play as the Arbiter in Halo 2, I believe, is the Flood and the Library, and that is possibly my favorite mission in that whole game, other than the first one where I get to kick a bomb into a Covenant ship. And yeah, the Flood are super dangerous. The Flood are possibly the most scary thing in the Halo universe, which is why the Forerunners built the Halo rings in the first place. It actually is the reason the Forerunners don't exist anymore, because they fired the Halo rings and extinguished themselves just to stop the Flood.
Noble sacrifice. Classic in Halo.
Of course, a few of them survived because they're also pricks.
Yep.
Now, as interesting as the story and lore and history of the Halo universe are, we could be here all day talking about that. One of the things that really made Halo stand out was its improvements on multiplayer, both in person and online, as well as just the refining of what a first-person shooter is.
That's true. It wasn't by any means the first multiplayer first-person shooter, but it definitely was the best of its time, bar none.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Halo 2's multiplayer was revered. I remember a time when it was just like the coolest thing on Xbox you could do was play Halo 2's multiplayer. And of course, I wasn't allowed to. My mom wasn't in favor of that sort of thing. She's cool now. She wasn't then.
Yeah. Having an Xbox without Halo is like having a car without wheels.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, we didn't have an Xbox anyway, so who cared?
Yeah, until I got one.
Yeah. But I snuck over to friends' houses just to play Halo's multiplayer. Halo's multiplayer was revolutionary and awesome, and it had tons of game modes and admittedly the most toxic lobbies on Xbox.
Yeah, it was pretty toxic at times.
That and like Modern Warfare 2. And beyond the games itself, Halo has also expanded into several different mediums. There's a long-running line of sci-fi books based in the universe, which are really good. And there's a couple of movies. There's a TV show in development. I think Spielberg is involved in that. Beyond that, there's also fan creations. I think the most notable of that is Red vs. Blue, which has been going for nearly as long as Halo itself.
As someone who, hasn't played Halo before, like, ever, I think that I've definitely heard of Halo a lot, and I think that for almost everyone, they probably know at least one person who is familiar with Halo. I think that's just how influential Halo is, I guess, in a certain way.
Yeah, it has a lot of just pop culture staying power. It's entered just like the everyday, like, shared knowledge.
Everybody knows Halo. It's one of those games that just built up way bigger than, a lot of the others. Like, the competitor that it had, Uncharted, just slowly started catching up, and that was a PlayStation, not a Xbox. Yeah. And so that's how Xbox earned its name, really, is through Halo. Because if you think of, like, an Xbox exclusive game, it's Halo. That's the one.
Yeah, especially for the original Xbox. Now they've branched into Forza and Gears of War, but Halo is still, like, the main driving IP.
It is. It really is. And that's part of what people's fondness for it is that it has been with them for a long time, and it's still going. We're getting Halo Infinity and all that coming out, and it's really interesting to see where they're going to take it from there, because I see that they're going back to the classic armor style, and they're stepping away from what they did where it was, like, super teched up in the past couple of games, and I'm interested to see the art style and how it changes.
I, for one, am very excited to see where the franchise goes in the future. But, unfortunately, that is all the time we have for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one.
Let's go play some D&D. Dungeons & Dragons time.
See ya.